Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this video at the moment, and you are welcome to my live video this evening. Today, I want to share with you some important tips. As you all know that most of the time, we make we don't only share spiritual tips here, like go and do this for money, go and do this. Sometimes we share lectures like this. And today, I want to share with you. I've made an announcement on my community tab that I'm going to share some important tips today, which is going to help if you can abide by it. I've said it times without number that most of the problem we face spiritually are not because we are not doing spiritual works. We are not, you know, watching or doing follow all the guidelines. Most of these problem at times are because we are not knowledgeable about spiritual things. We don't know what and what we should do concerning spirituality. We don't know which guideline to follow, and that is why you see many people complaining that they have done a lot of things and it's not working for them. So the fact is that they are not doing it right. It's not like they are not doing it. They have done many things, but they are not doing it. They are not getting it right. They don't know what and what spirituality means. Spirituality is beyond doing this, doing that, jump from one work to another. You need this kind of lectures and things in your life so that you will know what and what you should be careful of, what you should stay away of. I've said it times without number that most of things we love to do, most of things we love, the kind of food we love to eat, most of food we they are sometimes a problems, but we won't know because it has become part of us. And if you are working on your spiritual growth and you are working on your spiritual wellness, these things you have to check them. You have to know what I'm doing wrong, what am I doing wrong. You have to ask yourself that important question, that what am I doing wrong, why things are not working for me. If you are joining this live video, please make sure you are liking the video. This is an Easter gift. I'm making this video today to be a gift because I've made the announcement. So just like I was saying, it is something you should be asking yourself, where am I getting it wrong, what and what I need to be putting together, what and what I need to be careful of. And the lectures is not all about one video. You will be learning and learning. So and that is why you will see that if you have been on this channel for a very long time, you will see a lot of video I've shared. Most of them are about lecture. Even if I'm giving a spiritual work, I will firstly make some explanations and lectures so that I don't want people to be complaining. At least I want to be seeing testimony here and there, because if truly you are following things at the way you're supposed to be, you should not be experiencing setbacks, you should not be experiencing problems in your life. So a lot of people have, they have inflicted spiritual problems on themselves unknowingly. They're just doing something innocently. And most of the problems that lies with spirituality are always in something we love to do, something we cherish so much. And today I'm going to be discussing 5 things you should be careful of. You should stay away from if you want things to change for you. If you don't want to be always having that complaint of I'm doing it, I'm not seeing any results, or maybe they are doing it for you. Sometimes it's not only about doing something for you alone. It's about what you are using your hand to do. So the problem that is very greater in spirituality or in this world is something you don't know, you are not aware of, that you are causing yourself. We used to say something in my language that ẹbọ oṣó ṣerú, ẹbọ àjẹ́ ṣerú, ẹbọ èmi ní í ṣera mi ò ṣerú. The meaning is that when a witch is doing you, there's a solution. When a wizard is doing you, there's a solution. When there's a family problem, there's a solution. But there's a particular problem which is hard to solve. It's a problem someone is inflicting on him or herself unknowingly, because he or she does not know. So he will continuously doing it, and the problem will be getting bigger and bigger, and before they know it, it will become something hard to solve. So this and what I always take time to watch and make some lectures. Most of these lectures we make sometimes are based on experience on what we have seen about most of the work we give online. You understand? So, and that is why I don't give out spiritual work which we have not tested. So without wasting much of our time, we'll be talking about 5 things, just like I said, that can affect you, and you should not and never collect from people. Yeah, as you can see in the title of this live video, that I've said these 5 things are what and what you should not collect or give people, or give, like something you will give, it will affect you, and something you will collect and still affect you. These 5 things, you need to stay away from them if you want things to be moving. And today's lecture will be based mainly on people, mostly on married couples, a lot about men and women that are married. So it's a lot, and they contain something we used to do regularly. And today I will start by a cap. A cap. I mean something like the one I'm wearing, a cap. It can be any type of cap. It can be the modern cap we wear. It can be something of this nature. This is the one of our culture. I'm wearing this, like something like this, or maybe any cap. Now I'm telling you today that a cap, something you wore on your head. I've said it in one of my videos that this, apart from the physical head we carry, we each and everyone has their spiritual head, which is their representation or replicate in the spiritual realm. You understand? So most of the thing we use in physical reality sometimes appears or affect our spirituality. So now, if you are wearing a cap, if you have wore a cap for a long time now, but because the cap, you get tired of it, or you just bought a new one, now you are dashing it out to your cousin or to your siblings, thinking that you are doing good to them or you are doing good to yourself. This can affect you seriously. But because some people will say, okay, shey should we not be charitable? Should we not give out something to our family member? I'm not saying that. Now let me tell you the reason. The reason being that there are some people, the way the Olodumare made them, they are not meant to share things. It's not about being stingy. It's not about being, it's not about being, being a bad person. It's about how they were made. Anytime they share something, they have, most especially cap, just like I'm saying, there are some head, there are some head among every woman that they must not share a cap. If they do that, not that they do, the person that collect it will use it negatively, but because the way Olodumare created them, the way God created them, the kind of ori, the kind of style they are having, they are not meant to share. A king cannot share a crown. It is a taboo in African culture. We all know that. So now let's take that as an instance. If a king cannot share a crown, in spiritual reality, there is something you should not share, which is cap, is one of the things I'm talking about here. So the way they are made, some people now, if they share a single things like this, the problem will be increasing and increasing without solution. Because the problem, let me explain what actually happens. If you normally share things on without checking or without watching this kind of video, the thing is, the person you give your cap, we are talking about cap for the as a first point here. The person you give your cap, for an instance now, may have a star bigger than yours, or may have a problem bigger than yours. The problem is that if the person is having a big star that is bigger than yours, possibility are that they may take, there's a way people share their glory. They lose out their glories, they lose out their blessings just by doing charities or doing something that are unknowingly. And that's why I said that there's a lot of things we do unknowingly, and they will just say, oh, I'm doing good. Olodumare, or God will replenish me, or God will bless me for doing good. There's some goodness you will do and will still affect you. I'm saying this honestly. Now, if you share it with someone with a bigger star than yours, there's a possibility of you losing your blessing to that person. Or if that person is having an issue, if you are the one having an issue with your ori, the person that collect the cap may tap from that problem. It is possible, very possible, for the person to tap from that problem. So those are the two problems that can happen if you share your cap with someone. So it's not about, just like I said, it's not about being wicked or being stingy or being a bad person. It is just about the way spirituality are. And if you are doubting it, you can go and be sharing your cap around and check how your life is. It's not good. In fact, if you collected all your wardrobe, you want to give out some of the clothes, It's not advisable to be giving out caps. Yes, something you've worn on your head, and this is one of the reasons. So there's a lot of things the modern world has taken from us as an Africa. There's a lot of things, and then when you are saying it, some people will say you are being fetish, you are being, but that's how the life is. Because this is not only about being fetish or talking about African spirituality alone. I'm saying it generally, and that is the meaning. So because some people will be asking, okay, what's the meaning? Why do you say we should not? That's the two reasons I just mentioned. Now we'll now be moving to the second point. If you are watching this, please keep liking this live video. If you are enjoying this at the moment, and if you are learning something, we are learning something, please keep liking the video. I can see some 28 people watching. You can keep liking the video so that it can be recommended to others. Now let's be, you know, doing good. Now the second thing, you should be careful of sharing too, and that's why I said at the beginning of this video that this thing we will be more, uh, we will touch married men the most, married people alone the most. The second thing you should not be sharing is a used soap. Yes, used soap. I'm not talking about spiritual soap alone. If you see some couple, it's not about love, it's not love, you are not doing them good. If you see feel that okay, it's my husband, I'm not talking about the health reasons or the problem that may attach to it, because some doctors will advise you not to share soaps, not to share toothpaste and stuff like that. I'm not saying that, I'm not a health practitioner, I'm not the doctor telling going in that. I'm a spiritual doctor, but not in that line of health and all this modern medical way. I'm not saying it scientifically, I'm saying it spiritually. Okay, so you should not share a soap, because some people will say okay, it's for love, someone you love you should may share. No, 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 it's not only about the health implications alone, it's about the problem that's attached to it. If you are sharing an incompatible style with someone, and you share a soap with that person, the same thing that may happen to you when you share a cap may still happen to you. But this is even worse. Some people have gained hatred just by using someone's soap, the soap someone have used, thereby they gain spiritual hatred. All of a sudden they just discover that a lot of people just start hating them, and unknowingly to them they will be saying it is the witch of their village that is doing them, it is the mother from their village that is doing them, unknowingly that they have. Most this happen to students a lot of students that go to school, and this is why you should be sharing this kind of videos like this, so that a lot of people can be learning, generation to come can be learning. We are not, there's something we should not lose to civilization in the process of we want to be like Oyinbo, we want to be like the white or anyone. The way we were created is different. We should not say we take someone else's culture and thereby lose what is aligned to us. You cannot see a white man dreamed about a gungun, a masquerade chasing him in the dream. I mean, an African masquerade chasing a white man in the dream is not possible. So, and there's a kind of dream you will have as an African, a white man will not have it, because although we are all women, we share the same blood, we have this kind of blood, the same blood running in our vein. But there's some, Olodumare create some classes. It's not segregation. There's a reason Olodumare gave us different colors. So the same thing applicable to spirituality as well. So there's a reason we are different spiritually, and there's a reason, the reason we are different colorfully, there's a reason. There's some separation in spiritual what is it called, spiritual classes too. So because you cannot say because you've taken the white man culture, now you should now be practicing everything that comes with it. There's something as an African you should not go nearby. So because you can see a white man sharing a soap, a bar soap with his wife, and because you as an African will say okay, this is a normal thing. And I have seen when I made my video some years ago, I was talking about lecture like this. One guy that has no knowledge about spirituality was commenting and saying, it is you Africa that will be, what's it called it, that will be spiritualizing everything. I don't know the kind of language he used, but he's trying to say that all these things, you are not doing it and they're making progress. All this, you I don't know if you have encountered such things, and this is the problem we have. So Oyinbo may not be doing it. We have different kind of origin of spiritualities. So we belong to separate. We can be humans, but don't compare the kind of problem you have with that of the white. So when you are taking in white man cultures, there's something you must not take in with it because it will affect your own spiritual growth and reality. So that's it. Now you should be. It's not good. It's not good if you. I'm not talking about spiritual soap. There are some spiritual soaps that can be shared. I'm not saying that. Although I've made a video whereby I talked about spiritual soap itself, that sometimes if a spiritual soap is made for you, because someone asked me a time ago that what's the reason that they will say you should not share a soap even with your wife or with a family member or with someone that's closer to you. You want to help that person, you are using the soap now, for example a spiritual soap, and it is working for you, and they are now saying it's not something that can be shared. Now you'll be wondering that what's the reason? It's my family member, it's someone I love. It's not like that. Oh, I said it that in that video that everyone has their kind of stars. If you share it, it may stop working for you and keep working for them, or stop working for both of you because it is made for you only, and your ori is calling to it. That's aligned with your ori, with your spiritual head. If you share it, it will be a strange to that person, and if the person kind of spiritual capability can take it, it may stop working for you and working for that person. So that is it about the soul. That's it about it. So we can be asking questions, but before you will be asking your question, let me finish with these 5 things, 5 cogent and important things you should not be sharing or collect or give to people. Now, the third thing is a shoe. Yes, if you wore a shoe for a very long time, so it is not advisable. This one has a lot of complications, spiritual implications rather. So, but we'll just be talking about few of them. Like, although I'm not saying if you have shoes, if you have something like okay, for example, now some people will say people will buy most of this thing being used by the white, by the oyinbo, and that is because the what is they call inferiorities, something like that. Most of the things we use in Africa are being shipped down by the something the oyinbo have used. We know that one for sure. But the thing there is that most of the thing we use in Africa is not shipped there. So there's difference in that in comparison to what we use. But I'm talking about the spiritual implication here. So if someone have used something, most especially a close house family member or someone closer to you, a shoe is part of them. Like I'm not talking about the one that you bought. We all know that most of the shoes, most of the things we wear are being shipped down from the oyinbo. That one is different. But the something like okay, you have used it, you want to give to a stranger, you want to there's an implication, and the implication is this: there's a way it can be used, something you've wore on your legs. So this one is not actually does not actually has a lot of spiritual implication, but the thing is it can be manipulated. Reason be that the person you gave that your shoe can use it against you. Yes, something you've used on yourself, something it is easily to be manipulated. If you think they are not you are not giving it to a wicked person, and eventually the person become wicked all of a sudden or something, they can use it against you or use it to manipulate you. Sorry, the light came off. So you should be very careful of this point. It is not good to be sharing what is it called, to be sharing your shoe with anyone irrespective of the relationship, to give out, because you cannot tell if the person is wicked or not, because it can be used against you. So that one is just about being careful or being cautious. Now let's go to the, I think the fourth one, before I will be taking in questions. The fourth one is something you should not be taking is the sponge. Yes, this also is just like the one I've explained, like that of a soap. Some people will say it's a normal thing. They will share a soap and a sponge. But this particular one telling you now, a sponge, it is not advisable to share your sponge no matter the relationship. It is not good oh, it is not good oh, because no matter how close you are to the person. And that is why in the during the olden days, our forebears do have this separate room, separate things. You know, I said it at the beginning of this video that it is the white man culture that brought a lot of things to Africa that made us lose out some things. I'm not saying that you should go and find a separate room with your wife, but the way we are created, we are different. There's something a woman must not be sharing with her husband. It's not like keeping something for, but I said it in one of my videos that if you're a married couple wearing your wife wrapper, it's a problem. It's a big issue in African. So it's not good. I swear, it is not good. It will be bringing in poverty and setback, and that's why among your kinsmen you will be the one at the back. If we are doing something, your own will be some kind of delay because you this kind of things you don't count it. You say it is a fetish, something like that. You know, so a man should not. There's a lot as a man. There's a lot of things you should not be sharing with your wife, and as a woman, there's a lot of things you no be sharing with your husband, not to talk of people that are not married, that are just boyfriend and woman separate, men separate. So there's a lot of things, no matter the love or whatever in between you, there's a lot of things you must not let it mix. There's a reason God creates men, there's a reason God creates women. So sponge, you should not share it. This can cause make you get an hatred, spiritual hatred, setbacks and losing out things they are promise and faith. If you are experiencing it and you are doing this thing I'm mentioning, go and stop it now. It may be one of the reasons you are experiencing setback, and no matter the spiritual work you are using, cannot solve this. So because as you are using that spiritual work to solve it, you are doing that mistake again. The problem will be relapsing, you know, will be recurring rather. So it will be problem will be coming back as you are solving it. You are making that mistake unknowingly. That's why I said lectures like this are always useful. If we are taking time to be lecturing each other in spirituality like this, there's a lot to gain from lectures. And you will see changes in keeping it to the spiritual rules more than just doing every random spiritual work you see. Lectures are the knowledge. Knowledge is power, because something you know now will go and for a very long time with you for many generations. Your child, you can easily tell your child that, oh, this thing is not good. And this is the reason what our parents used to tell us. Most of them, when they give the warning, will say, oh, they are fetish, they are something like that. And it's affecting us now because most of this generation we don't keep to all those that kind of rules. Okay, so there's some things, there are many things you should stay away from. So you should, knowledge like this will go from generation to generations, and they are very important. If you learn a spiritual, if I give you a spiritual work now, tomorrow now I will teach you something even better, or in my, you know, it's not compared to knowledge being shared like this. So let's go from that fourth one and to the last one. But this last one I will join two things together. We've talked about the cap, we've talked about the shoe, we've talked about the used soap, and we've talked about used sponge. Talked about the used sponge, and lastly, we'll be talking about mirror and wig for most women. This let's start from the wig before we'll be talking about a very important one, which is a mirror. I've made videos about mirror, but let's just recapitulate and talk about that, the reason why you should be careful as a woman. Most women, the problem they have is that sharing wigs. This is common with this the current generation. This is one of the common issue. Please keep liking this live video. Don't just be watching, you know, be encouraging. So if you are watching and you're saying this, keep liking. Only 6 likes and 24 are watching. So now, if you are a man or a woman, you should be very careful in most particularly women. Wigs, something you put on your head, and most women don't wear caps. So this last one we will say the one of the cap is for men, the one of the wigs, because it's only the type of women these days are wigs they put on their head. So women are not tying the gele, all this headgear on their head anymore, just like the own. But most of the things we wear now wigs. So you collect a wig someone have wore on their head, you collect it and put it on your head. The problem that can happen to you, I've talked about it in the section of the cap. So I will repost this video so you can watch it. So don't share wigs. Though if something is for you, you put it on your head, most especially wigs. Don't say someone is your closer friend or most this common with students. If you have children that are going to school, two like four people will be sharing a single week. Like four people will be sharing a single week, and then this is a problem. Most of them will be complaining that the notebook at the beginning of, it's not about doing booster or things alone. Some have lost their memory, some have lost their fighter thinking abilities being taken away, some have lost their glory just by sharing weight. This is for students. This is mostly for students. If you are a student, you watching this now, you should be very careful in kind of things you share. Okay. Wigs. That's why you see some people, okay, they will say, when I was in secondary school, I can read, and when I was in the university, but now can't remember anything. I've used a lot of brain booster and things like that. Stop sharing wigs and caps like that. Now to the last one, mirror. So this happens when you are doing a wedding, when you just when you just got wedded or something, or when you just got wedded, you just married. Now, among the gifts they will be gifting you is something like a mirror. So it is not, I'm not saying if they give you mirror you should say the person is a bad person, but mirrors can be manipulated because something you'll be using in your home after that marriage or something like that. You collect mirror from this person, by saying the person is a good person or whatever. The mirror might have been manipulated. So I've talked about like two things that can be manipulated, not just by because the mirror is bad, but it can be used against you for the fact that you are having it in your home and you'll be complaining. I've talked about some items we keep in our house. If you watch my previous videos, most of these items we keep in the house, and then we think, oh, we feel okay, it's a normal thing, and they are causing problems. So go and watch that one. So mirror now, don't take as a gift or whatever, most especially used mirrors. If there's someone that been using mirror, or you just someone just move out of their house and they say, okay, go and take this mirror and be using it in your house, then you go and place it in your bedroom or wherever in your house and start using it, feeling that okay, that's fine, no problem. Or there can be problem, I'm telling you honestly now. So there's a lot that are not meant to be shared or give. We'll be talking about it in the future. Now we'll be taking in questions. If you have questions regarding these lectures, ask now before I will be ending this live video. If there's not, I should be ending it at 30 minutes. Then I'll be reposting it for you to watch later. If there's any question, uh, okay. I saw. Can I have a shout out? Okay, thank you, Mike. Mike, I don't know how to pronounce this. Someone like so the only commenter, only one person commented there, and there's a shout out. So shout out to you, Mike Mens. So, Mike Mens, thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate. If you watch this, if you are learning, please make sure you share this video. Make sure you subscribe. It will be encouraging us to be, helping, because we are not all this fighter knowledge, this thing we are sharing now, without taking a dime, are what is affecting a lot of people. But people don't know how valuable these lectures are, but they just believe that, okay, if you make that, okay, if you say, okay, how to see 1 billion tomorrow, now we post a video, you see how many views. But if you're talking about fighter things like this, you see that the view may reduce, because the kind of mind people have is very, it's not that, I don't know how to put it, but they don't know what is valuable. So only what is being packaged, what being, so that's what they'll be rushing. And this kind of knowledge are very important. So if there's no question, thank you for joining the live, SC. And shout out to you, Mike Mens, or the name. I don't know. I'm very sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name well. You said I should give you a shout out. Just subscribe. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you are watching this now, make sure you share so that others can learn too. And subscribe. Turn on the notification bell and make sure you share this video. It's very important. Make sure you subscribe and like this particular video so that it can be recommended to others. So yeah, if there's no question, then let's end this live video and we'll post it for others to watch. Thank you. No question, then we'll be ending the live video. Okay, so since there's no question, let's call it a day, or should we say a night or whatever. So okay, let's stop it at 3.